How to make a woman crave you. Seduction of the body and mind. And this has to be attacked by two different angles, right? This isn't just a one and done type of conversation. Like I just said, it's a seduction of the body and mind. So there's a physical and emotional, mental aspect to it. And this is the best way to have a woman crave you. If you want her to be thinking about you, if you want her to be looking at your pictures and while she's at work thinking she can't even concentrate on her job because she's thinking about you so hard, right? She's replaying the little times you guys spent. She's replaying when you guys were intimate and the intimacy was great. She's just replaying in her head how you made her feel. And this is a huge part, okay? This is a huge part, is that how you made her feel, how the vibes were, how your masculinity complemented her femininity. So while you're with her, she was feeling your masculinity. She was loving it, and it's addictive, and you will stand out from other men. It's naturally going to make you stand out from the other men if you do this, if you play your cards right. And I'm gonna get into it. This is a Tarik Talks Midnight podcast. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. So the first part is the physical aspect, the physical attraction aspect. Now, other content creators and other coaches, quote unquote, are going to maybe say that physical attraction is not important. That is their opinion, and I respect it. From my personal experience, and even though I just said this is a personal experience, if one person experienced it, that means other people experienced it. Okay, so I'm not talking like this in a selfish manner. I'm speaking this because I know other men can relate, and it will be beneficial to other men if they know that the more physically attracted a woman is to you, the more intense the passion is going to be. The better the interaction will be, the more easier everything will be. Okay. I'm not saying that the mental aspect is not important, because the physical aspect is just the key inside of the door, right? It's the key inside of the door. You're in there, right? And then comes the mental aspect. That's when you basically turn a key and just unlock the door. Okay. But you need to end, metaphorically speaking, you need to put the key in the first place. Because if you don't have the right key, so to speak, meaning if you're physical type, whatever that might be, women have different physical types. Some like black men, some like Asian, some like white, whatever the case is. Some women like men that are more stockier, some women like men that are a little more on the slim side. Okay. But like I always say, no matter what your body type, no matter if you're more stockier on a linebacker side, so to speak, or you have a more leaner physique, such as a basketball player, being fit is the essence to it, right? And of course, we're going to talk about the physical appearance. When she looks at you, is she getting aroused? And this is extremely, extremely important. As I just said, I don't know I can't really speak on what other coaches say or what other dating experts would say, but in my personal opinion, being physically attractive to the woman is going to have her extremely aroused. It is going to have her thinking about you hard. Okay? So that's the first step. The second step, now you have the fit, and let me throw this in there too with physicality, since we're talking about physicality, the intimacy. Guys, if you are inexperienced, You know, it's okay. Intimacy comes with experience. As you get older, you deal with enough women, you're going to be able to last longer. You're going to be able to get your stroke game better, right? This is extremely important if you want her to keep coming back. Is that intimacy? Is you putting it down in the room, right? Is you putting it down physically? And a lot of people might argue that it's kind of shallow. You can argue that it's shallow, but to some extent, humans are shallow by nature. I know a lot of people don't want to admit it. I know a lot of people like to claim that they're not shallow, but let's cut the bullshit. We are shallow by nature, some to varying degrees, but we are, in a sense, shallow in that sense. So get get out of your feelings and adapt, because you can complain about something or you can adapt, right? So by you being good in a room, by you making her have multiple orgasms, by you knowing what you're doing, by you hitting all her spots, what is she like, right? And when you know what she likes, trust and believe she's going to reciprocate. She's going to thank you. She's going to return a favor. I'm not going to go too deep into detail, but you guys can just use your imagination. This is extremely important too. I'm going to throw this in with the physicality part, right? Because fellas, you better believe if you didn't put it down in a room, you might not get a call back, right? You might not get a call back. And I'm just going to throw that out there. Now that we have the physicality part on point, is probably the most important part, the mental side. By you getting in her mental, in her mind, staying on her mind all the time, right? SWV had a song, and this is an old 90s girl group, old 90s R&B girl group. They had a song that's called Always on My Mind. It's a perfect illustration of how a woman she will have a man on her mind damn near the whole day, right? If he is bringing that passion, bringing that physical attraction, and he's hitting her with that mental stimulation, he's going to be on her mind. And how do you hit her mentally? Well, you have to be, as I said, masculine. So what this means is tone down on all that mushy gushy, lovey dovey stuff. You guys get yourself into trouble when you are constantly trying to be Mr. Teddy Bear, rose petals, and sunshine, flowers, and lollipops. That is not your place. That is a woman's place. And I don't care what and everything I'm saying, you can't argue with me that it's wrong, because this is personal experience, right? So that means you have to show up you have to have a more masculine presence, right? You're cool, you're calm, you're collected, you're kind of laid back. A lot of you guys lose the battle, so to speak. And I'm not saying dating is a battle, but just to put things into context, you lose the battle before it even started, because you're constantly trying to check up on her. You're constantly calling her. You're constantly trying to stay in contact because you are afraid that she might forget about you. Dog, look, let me tell you something. By you hanging out with her, right? When you're with her, you're suave, you're smooth, you're taking things slow. You're letting her hold you first. You're letting her initiate holding hands first. You're letting her initiate all of that intimate touching, so to speak. And when I say intimate touching, I'm not talking about, sex. I'm just talking about when you guys are together, maybe she starts caressing your head. Maybe she gets closer. Maybe her feet start rubbing you, right? Subtle things. Women will do subtle things like that. But what I'm trying to get at is she initiated it. All you're doing is having a good conversation. You're not spilling your feelings. Stay away from spilling your feelings. I'm not telling you to be a cold-hearted jerk. right? There's a difference between being cool, calm, collected and being an unbearable prick. And I'm just going to say that right now. What I'm telling you guys is you have to just you have to fall back, let her come out and tell you that, hey, look, I think I'm feeling this about you, and I think you're this, and I think you're very attractive, and not saying anything is wrong with complimenting a young lady, right? Like if she's looking good, telling her she looks sexy, nothing wrong with that. But where a lot of men fall into trouble is that they overdo it. They do it to the point where the girl feels smothered. So by you being masculine, by you falling back a little bit, by you letting her do all that, this gives her, this is going to subconsciously tell her in her mind that, hey, look, this guy is masculine. He's not pressed about me. And this is extremely important. She's going to feel like she's more pressed about you. And this is natural. This is feminine nature. Feminine nature is nurturing. Feminine nature is the one, just like how women nurture their babies. When you look at their babies, they're all up on their babies, giving kisses, holding them, making baby talk to the baby, right? Talking to the baby like, with that cute tone. This is their job. It's natural. And all you're doing is just letting your charisma, letting your swag do all the work for you. Okay. And by you doing that, when you leave her presence, this is the most important part. If you guys have stuck around to this point, this is going to be the most important part to the mental aspect. When you leave her presence, right? When you finish your date, or when you finish your hanging out with her and you guys had great intimacy, your conversation was cool. When you leave her presence, this is when all the action happens, so to speak. When you leave her presence and you're not in her face, and all she's left is with her imagination, this is where the mental aspect is going on. By you leaving her alone to be with her thoughts, to gather her thoughts, to let her replay all the moments that you guys spent. This is where attraction is growing. Guys, you need to understand this. Let a woman have space after you finish hanging out. Don't text, don't call, right? Because this sounds harsh, and a lot of women will actually argue with this, but they're hurting themselves, because what's happening is when a man leaves a woman's presence and he automatically goes to texting her, hey, did you have a good time? Or, hey, I got home safe? Are you safe? He doesn't give her enough time to think about him. See, this is the mental aspect. This is why women want men, why they crave them, because the man does not freely give himself, because he's making himself a scarce commodity, a scarce resource, so to speak, right? It's just like, for example, Jordans. Okay. And I know this is probably a terrible analogy, but Jordans, when they re-release the retros and they sell out within seconds, this is why the prices are extremely high, because it's if the Jordans were there everywhere all the time, the price wouldn't be so high. But the fact that they're scarce is what makes them valuable. And during this time, during the 3-4 days that you guys haven't talked, right? She's going to be thinking about you non-stop. She's going to be thinking about you non-stop while these guys are blowing her phone up, while these guys are trying to basically win her validation, right? Basically trying to corral her into liking them. She's gonna be thinking, hey, why didn't Chris hit me up? Why didn't Tom hit me up? Why didn't Tarek hit me up? We had a really great time. The intimacy was great. The vibe was there. But these other guys are hitting me up every single day, but he's not. She is going to be thinking about you like crazy. She's going to be looking at your pictures. Like I said, she's going to be replaying memories and looking at pictures and videos y'all took. And she's gonna reach out to you. She's gonna reach out to you because she wants your energy, she wants that energy again. She wants that masculine energy inside of her, metaphysically and physically, right? So I hope this podcast helped, guys. Look, you guys can use this, but don't use it for evil. All right. So with that being said, this is my podcast. Peace.